The DCU's first villain seemed to go down a little too easily for viewers, and they are coming for James Gunn. Welcome to Stats In. If you're just joining us, please subscribe and don't forget to turn on notifications bell for more video. James Gunn's DC reboot kicked off with a nerfed villain, leading to an outcry by fans online. Gunn's DCU is officially underway with the release of Creature Commandos, showing off a new team of villains and antiheroes in an R-rated animated setting. Following up on some of the events of 2021's The Suicide Squad, the series also unveils new plot points that have not been touched in any previous DC outing. The first 3 episodes pitted the team against a powerful adversary in Cersei, who boasts ties back to the Wonder Woman legacy and the magical side of the DCU. However, as has been the case with villains in the past, her introduction was not all sunshine and roses. The first 3 episodes of DC Studios' Creature Commandos featured the DC reboot's first major villain, Cersei. However, Anya Kalatra's antagonist did not put up much of a fight, going down fairly easily against Alan Tudyk's Dr. Phosphorus and Sean Gunn's Weasel, one of 2 characters Gunn plays. Following this episode, fans took to X, formerly Twitter, to criticize the series for nerfing the villain who seemed to be so powerful. At Y2 Marcus wondered how Cersei went down against the damn rabid dog, and asked how she was supposed to fight Diana Prince, better known as Wonder Woman, after that moment. Also, am I crazy, or is this Cersei severely depowered like this kind of gag you'd expect coming from heavy hitters like Wonder Woman, not the damn rabid dog? How is she supposed to fight Diana at this rate? The same user continued, urging James Gunn to fix the power scaling quickly so that fans would not have problems with his new universe. Fix the power scaling quickly and the magic too, or we gonna have a problem soon. At Spike Brownstone had much harsher commentary, calling the show whack for having Cersei lose to Weasel. Creature Commandos is whack. WDYM Cersei, a fucking Wonder Woman villain, got folded by a fucking anthropomorphic Weasel man. While at Blurred Central has not watched the show yet, they were not pleased with Cersei getting handled by the titular team of antiheroes. Haven't seen this yet, but why is the god Cersei getting handled by the fucking Creature Commandos? I'm loving Creature Commandos so far, but why are they making Cersei struggle so much? She's being humiliated all the time. We better see her stand her ground in the next episodes. She's a WW villain after all. At Jordan Jones took a more positive outlook on the outcome, teasing that episode 4 is about to get serious upon its debut. Cersei is a fucking menace. Her attacks are so horrifyingly calculated. If Weasel and Phosphorus hadn't locked in, Ilana would have been finished. You don't understand what you've done. You've doomed the world. Next week is about to get serious. While Cersei is by no means dead, her inclusion in Creature Commandos left many fans with more questions than answers about her place in the DCU. Those questions became much more prominent when she was almost completely absent from Season 1's last 3 episodes. Cersei made her impact felt in Episode 4 with her vision teasing Princess Ilana Rostovic taking over various nations and killing the world's superheroes. See the show's first look at a dead Wonder Woman here. This was all proven to be falsified thanks to Clayface involvement, but plenty of damage is still done. The real question now is whether Cersei could come back in a future DCU project, whether it be Season 2 of Creature Commandos or elsewhere. As of writing, the only Wonder Woman-adjacent project in Gunn's new DCU is Paradise Lost, a prequel series set to show the early days of Themyscira. Due to its expected place in the DCU timeline, Cersei should not be expected to have a role in this series when it eventually debuts. Many hope she will return to the fold when Wonder Woman takes her place in the DCU alongside other heroes like David Corenswet's Superman, who makes his full debut in his upcoming 2025 solo movie. This would also track with Gunn's promise that characters in his new DCU will move across mediums, which is also seen in Superman with Rick Flag Sr.'s appearance. For now, however, Cersei will remain in the background until further notice. As if the Snyderverse couldn't get deader, James Gunn manages to do it with his newest DCU casting. Welcome to Stats In. If you're just joining us, please subscribe and don't forget to turn on notifications bell for more video. Fans of Zack Snyder's original plans for the DCU have been dead in the ground long before James Gunn joined as co-CEO of DC Studios and ushered in the DCU. It only started to become deader with every consecutive recast, the biggest being Henry Cavill's recast by David Corenswet as Superman. Before the release of Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, Gunn addressed Momoa's future as Aquaman and his desire to play Lobo, stating that, "We won't have an actor playing 2 different roles." He suggested that Momoa had to make a choice, and it seems he finally did. It was officially announced that Jason Momoa will play Lobo in Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, Deadline, which means, per Gunn's rule, Momoa can no longer return as Aquaman in the DCU. This marks the third final nail in the coffin of the Snyderverse after Henry Cavill's Superman and Ben Affleck's Batman recasts. Not to mention the unlikelihood of Gal Gadot returning as Wonder Woman. It's also possible that the DCU's new Flash won't be Barry Allen anymore but Wally West, making Ezra Miller's return as the Speedster even more unlikely after the Flash bombed with fans, critics, and at the box office. So, that's even 5 potential nails. This may have been in the works since January 2023, when Jason Momoa issued that cryptic message about his DC future during the impending reboot. He certainly seemed overjoyed with the news, and what better news than playing one of his favorite comic book characters? James Gunn's role for Lobo in Woman of Tomorrow. What's funny about Momoa joining Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow isn't just that it's another nail in a long line of nails that is the Snyderverse coffin, but that Lobo was originally intended to be a part of Tom King's Woman of Tomorrow comic from the beginning. According to Word Balloon, via comicbook.com, King initially pitched his book to be a team-up with Lobo and Supergirl but was told by his editors to take Lobo out of the story. Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, began as me pitching a Lobo/Supergirl book, and it was my editor Brittany Holzer and Jamie Rich, who were like, no, take Lobo out and make Supergirl the Rooster Cogburn character. Lobo's role in the film adaptation of King's comic can't be the Rooster Cogburn character, since that's Supergirl's role with the Madeline Ross character being taken by Eve Ridley's Ruthie. It's more likely than not that, being a deadly bounty hunter in the comics, Lobo will be hired by Krem to fight Supergirl. In the original comic, Kara's final conflict was with the pirates Kerm has joined, who proved to be a feeble threat to her. So, having Lobo on Kerm's payroll would provide a far more deadly opposition for Supergirl in her way of Kerm. Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow will be released in theaters on June 26, 2026. New photos reveal the DCU's final Justice League crossover before DC reboot. New photos reveal the DCU's final Justice League crossover before DC reboot. Is Aquaman 3 with Timothée Chalamet real or fake? Release speculation explained. Is Aquaman 3 with Timothée Chalamet real or fake? Release speculation explained. James Gunn just cast the 4th lead superhero in the new DCU. James Gunn just cast the 4th lead superhero in the new DCU. In this article, Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. Release date. About the author, Pierre Chanliot. Pierre Chanliot began as a news and feature writer for The Direct at the site's launch in 2020. As a longtime reader of superhero comic books, Pierre's knowledge of Marvel and DC is extensive, informing his reporting and editorial pieces regarding the MCU and DCU. Dating for senior singles. Share your